It is hot as fire. Aloha, good afternoon. It's 2 minutes to 2. We just finished up our 7th movement of the day. Been doing a lot of driving today. Hello. 150 Matt. Roger that. Bye. So I think we got one more empty to pick up at the Schofield Army Base. We dropped that off earlier or later last week. One of the last runs we did. We're down here at the heavy equipment distribution warehouse. Just dropped off a full 45-foot container with 43 items inside. Of course, as you might imagine, many of the items in this heavy equipment business are quite large, sometimes pallet-sized. So we're in Waipahu and we need to go up to the Schofield Army Base. Probably the fastest way to do that is to get onto Quinea Road and just drive straight on up. Nice drive through the countryside. So when I came in this morning, pre-trip, the truck ran inside and setup had 5 movements waiting for me. I looked at the 5 movements and they were great runs. They were all like 25, 50 mile runs in a round trip. So I did that calculation real quick and came up with 250 miles, and I figured, there's no way we're gonna finish this. Typical Monday. So we got an early start. We took a 8 o'clock delivery at 6 o'clock out to the Campbell Industrial area. Got there at 7 and called up the owner and asked him if I could leave it. And he said, yep. Because I needed to turn around and head back into town to pick up my second load, and that put me on the freeway in the middle of rush hour. So we spent an hour trying to get back into town. Picked up the second load, which was a load of energy drinks, and took that out to the Campbell Industrial area. Stood by while they offloaded the 18 pallets. Then took that empty back to our terminal just to save some time so I could pick up my next load. Which was a load of shopping bags for the big box on the island. was making that delivery to this big box regional distribution warehouse in Waipio, I realized that I had never realized that that was the RDC for this big box out here on the island. We're talking about Walmart. Because I had always known it as a trucking company that for I guess many years was struggling, and then they got that big box account and that became their RDC warehouse, and I had never realized that until today. See, 23 years and you can still learn things. I guess I just never thought about it. I mean, I've been delivering there for years. I was just kind of caught up in the fact that they were running the warehouse very mainland style, as far as, you know, they wouldn't offload the container unless I disconnected from it. You know, that's all these big box warehouses. That's kind of, you know, that's kind of how they run things. I just finally realized it today. Kind of slow, I guess. We stood by and offloaded the shopping bags, and then took the empty back to the shipping terminal, Sand Island, where we picked up a very heavy LTL. Took that back to our terminal, got it on dock 7. At that point, the dispatch says, hey, look, I'm going to take one of your runs because you're not going to make it. So the medical equipment that was going to the Campbell Industrial got picked up and delivered by somebody else, and I hooked up to the heavy equipment container, got it delivered, and now we're running up to Schofield Army Base by way of Cunea Road here, which runs right through the center of the island. Been in the news quite a bit lately because there's been a lot of wildfires along Cunea Road, and I don't know if they've gotten them extinguished yet. Now that I think about it, they're in areas where, you know, you can't get there by road or anything. It's on the side of the mountain. It's hard to drop water on it because of the steepness of the mountain. Yeah, right off here to the left, this mountain range has been on fire for about a week. Looks like it's finally out. I know it was on fire Friday when we made the delivery to where we're going. Still smoldering a little bit. I doubt the GoPro can pick it up now. It's way out there to the left along the mountain range. There's been a little bit of discussion about that because wildfires in Hawaii, we don't have lightning like they would have on the mainland. So we know it wasn't mainland, it wasn't lightning. And the area is away from any roads, so we don't think it could have been a cigarette or anything like that. Like off here to the right here, and they're thinking these fires are being set by somebody, because there's been 7 of them. 7 different fires in the course of a week. So they're blaming the homeless. There's a lot of illegal dumping up here. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. This used to all be sugarcane. Back in the day when they grew sugar on the island, this was all sugarcane fields. Back in those days, when they got ready to harvest the sugarcane, they would burn the fields. So these have these huge, sugarcane fires. The whole island would smell like smoke for like a week. Especially if you lived up in this neighborhood, or around this neighborhood. Over the years, they've diversified it a little bit. Brought in some crop farmers, row crop farmers. Brought in seed corn farmers. See how it's all getting ready to be planted. And then a lot of it's still used by the pineapple industry. Still grow pineapples in Hawaii. There's the water supply, big reservoir. Comes down from the mountains. Fires were up against the mountains there. You can see, it was basically straight ahead. Kind of make it out. From here, I can't. Again, the GoPro doesn't see distance very well, so straight ahead there's a big brown, black patch. It's like, how could those fires get started? Suspicious. This golf course is where they were landing the helicopters last week. The heat of it right now. It's the hottest time of the year in Hawaii. The last 2 weeks of August, first 2 weeks of September. Here's some more spots. See, fire there. It's like, how do you have all these different fires, different spots? Very suspicious. It's like too easy to blame the homeless, but kind of feel like it might be them. Out there. That whole area up in the mountains here. Year when Lahaina caught on fire. That's a few weeks back was the anniversary. But yeah, everything gets brown, and then you get high winds, and it becomes a real fire hazard. Especially out here in the old, agriculture areas where they've got these big fields that have gone fallow. It's mostly this grass that gets all brown during the summer. They had all kinds of theories as to what was causing the fires. solar panels. All the trash on the side of the road. Land developers. Everybody has an angle. So yeah, we're on Quinea Road. This takes us up into the Wahiwa area where the Schofield Army Base is. Got one more area we go through where you see the Wheeler Army Base off to the right. Down here in this gully here to the left is where the big underground bunkers are for the intelligence division of Hawaii's military. Right where the slide is. If I were to make a left-hand turn, I'd have armed guards waiting for me. Very secure area to the left. You need special passes and IDs to get in there. It's all underground too. Except for the parking lot. Very secure. So at this light we're going to make a left, go through security, get onto base, make our way up to our empty container. Our 8th movement of the day. Base. Keep going back and we come to the training area. Up to this, take it back to the shipping terminal, Sound Island. 8th movement of the day. From here to there, though, it's about a 24-mile drive. It says go ahead and strip it. paved area of the terminal. Tour buses together way back 30 years ago. When we first met, I'd been with the company maybe 6 months to a year, and he had just started with the company. Been there like 3 months. I didn't know him very well, but he knew a lot of the guys working for the company from high school. And I had been working for like 15 hours, so dispatch called me up and said, "Nah, you've been working too long. You got to go home. Go ahead and give the run to the guy who was driving the loader." I said, okay. So I started packing up all my stuff, and he didn't have a microphone for the tour bus. And so he wanted to use my microphone. I didn't really know him. I felt real uncomfortable about lending him my microphone. And so some of the other guys who I knew better with the company kind of vouched for him. You know, "Oh no, we went to high school together. He's not going to take it." But it was a real uncomfortable situation, but ever since then, we've been good friends. extra work because I didn't pull up far enough. Pricey pay. Come on. You can do it. This kind of thing always happens at the end of the day when you've been driving for 10 hours. Your judgment starts to suffer. Now we got it. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. It would be perfect if the other trailer hadn't been backed in so far. That'll work. That's it. We can shut it down. 3:45. We did 8 movements. We drove 182 miles. It's a perfect day. We head on home now. We got a rice made. I got to make a salad, and we're gonna cook up some fish fillets. Seems like we're always eating fish, but I only eat fish like twice a week. Usually, like in the beginning of the week and then end of the week. So we had pasta last night, but we got some new fillets from Walmart of all places. So we're gonna try that out. It's salmon fillets with the skin on. Give them a try. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Aloha.